Hello everybody and welcome back where there's a lot to talk about. Today we're going over the VR game showcase yesterday, more specifically the PSVR2 announcements that we got. From Hitman to Slender to Underdogs to Vendetta Forever and a brand new Battlefield-like game that's coming to Quest and probably PSVR2 later, let's jump straight into it. Before we do though, only 25% of you are subscribed, so please feel free to do so. We're trying to get to 20,000 subs and any help towards that would be appreciated. And thank you to our patrons and YouTube members for keeping the channel going day after day and week after week, because without them, I would not be able to do what I do. With that being said, let's kick things off with Forefront. This is the Battlefield-like game that honestly kind of blew me away. We were watching the show yesterday on Without Parole. Thank you to everybody who joined that, by the way, it was a great time. And thank you for Brian for having me again. But this game kicked off the show in an incredible style. This is Battlefield, basically, in VR, minus the destruction. From the developers of Breaches, massive 32-player battles can be seen across maps that look like Caspian Border, Wake Island, and even more. With multiple gadgets, weapons, and vehicles to choose from, I am truly excited for this one, but it is Quest, Pico, and Steam VR first in early access, as PlayStation doesn't have an early access scheme, and then PSVR 2 most likely later. I was really blown away by the fact that you could have these massive battles in VR with people in helicopters flying them while a friend is sitting in the back on the gunner seat, zooming around on quad bikes and jet skis. It looks fantastic. I cannot wait for this with classes, loads of weapons. This is looking to be incredible. If anyone can bring Battlefield to life in VR, it is Triangle Factory, and make sure you tell them that we want Forefront on PSVR 2. Soon after that, we got another look at Hitman World of Assassination with the PSVR 2 gameplay trailer. This is only about a minute long and shows off one of the levels, but they have emphasis on the fact that we now have two hands in the game. Fantastic. Full interactions with everything in the world, no silly button presses to do actions, picture-in-picture scopes, and a further look at the open wheel style racing level where you can take out somebody by shooting at their car, which looks sick. A few other notes here. It does look like dynamic foveated rendering is being used here. If you look at the edges of the screen, it's very clear. They are blurred, it's jagged where the eyes aren't looking. Great to see that. And there are dynamic shadows in all of these environments, it seems, which should add a bit to the realism. I'm really hoping this one sticks to the landing. There is some movement about this game happening fairly soon. I'm just praying I can get my hands on it before I go away again. I'm going away in 8 days as of now to Japan for a couple of weeks, and I'm just praying I can get hands on before then, so I can get some content out to you about Wanderer, Hitman, and Underdogs, which we'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, here's hoping. Hitman does look great though, and this level didn't really show us too much, aside from that dynamic foveated rendering confirmation. We also got our first trailer for Ghost Town, the brand new VR IP from the Room developer Fireproof Games. You take on the role as Edith Penrose, a witch-turned-ghost hunter who walks the haunted streets of London, tracking and exorcising restless spirits. Use a combination of wit, mystical knowledge, and ancient magic to help Edith glimpse beyond our world and see the unseen and overcome the unearthly puzzles placed in her way. This one looks seriously good. I don't think we have a release date for it just yet, but some of the outside environments especially look fantastic. Speaking of looking fantastic, we also got a Dead Space-alike game called Memoreum. The gameplay reveal trailer was here at VRGS, showcasing a load of different environments on the spaceship that you're stranded on, tons of gore, tons of weapons, and necromorph-like aliens to fight. This one did show meta at the end, but it's confirmed it is coming to PSVR 2 at some point down the line, which I'm very, very happy with. Even though the Breaches devs have a new game along the way, that doesn't mean they're leaving Breaches out to dry. We have a brand new gadget that's been added to the game that's out now, which is the Clone Projector. This essentially acts as an alibi from Rainbow Six Siege, showing a projected version of you to trick enemies. Great to see the support is still ongoing. Speaking of supporting PSVR 2, Perp Games have been doing that all since launch, and they're continuing that streak with Underdogs. Underdogs is coming to PSVR 2 on March 25th. I can confirm I'll be having a sneak preview of it for you at some point soon, and then a full review when the game comes out. These guys have been fantastic in getting the game into my hands early. I cannot overstate that enough. It's been great communication-wise. Thank you, Perp Games, and I look forward to showing you more about this highly rated roguelike mech brawler. One of my favorite games from last year, Vendetta Forever, is getting some brand new levels as well. I spoke to Xavier, I believe his name was, the lead developer for the game last year in an interview, and he said that he really wanted to bring more levels to the game post-launch, but didn't know if it would be feasible, and it's good to see that it is. We are getting some brand new content, and if you're on Steam, you'll be getting access to Vendetta Forever as well, as it's coming to the platform for the first time. We got our first look at Slender The Arrival as well. I'm a bit mixed on this one, to be honest. I don't know what platform we're seeing shown off here. If it's PSVR 2, then it's looking rough. The nighttime scenes at the end did look pretty good, but at the start of the trailer, the stuff in the daylight did look quite jagged. Doesn't look like DFR is being used, and I'm really a bit scared for this one. If this was Quest 2 or 3 footage though, and PSVR 2 looks better than this, then I'll be happy. We also got Gorn 2 shown off. This is confirmed to come to PSVR2 later down the line. It's the sequel to the gladiatorial game that I did actually love on PSVR 1, but the PSVR 2 port left a lot to be desired. Hopefully with the sequel, we can get a bit of polish on here. A load of weapons, environments, and enemies to fight seem to be added to the game compared to the first one, and I gotta admit the first game was brutally fun, so let's see where this one goes. We also got the PSVR 2 reveal trailer for Shadowgate, The Mines of Mythrock. This immersive fantasy adventure transports you into the deep ruins of the lost dwarven kingdom, where danger lurks around every corner. You have a sorcerer's wand and an enchanted shield, and you must master elemental magic to unravel devious traps, battle monstrous guardians, and cover the forgotten history buried beneath the stone. Guided by Odin, your wise raving companion, you'll navigate crumbling passageways, ride breakneck minecarts, and push ever deeper into the abyss. This is in collaboration with Flat to VR Studio and is about to kick off a roll of their games that I'm very excited for. The next one of theirs is Roboquest. We didn't get a release date for this, but they did confirm that co-op is coming to the game, the same as it is in the flat screen version. That's great to hear, and Roboquest is looking fantastic. This high-octane roguelike will probably need some pretty steady VR legs though. We also got the trailer for Surviving Mars Pioneer. This management and survival game on the harsh deserts of the Red Planet didn't really show any signs of PSVR 2, at least at first glance, but is again backed by Flat to VR, and in the PS blog accompanying it confirmed that it is coming to the platform. Apparently it's very big on micromanaging. If you're into that sort of thing, you'll probably love Surviving Mars, and hopefully it comes sooner rather than later. A game that really caught my attention though was Out of Sight VR. Now this is a flat screen game that's launching parallel to the VR version of it, which I'm very excited for. And at first glance I thought that we were getting Little Nightmares VR, which I was really pumped by. However, it's not, but it's very similar. The visual style, the gameplay, the puzzling, and the side-scrolling action, very similar to Little Nightmares, which I'm happy about because Little Nightmares is probably my favourite horror game series of all time. And Out of Sight uses a great second-person camera view to place you believably in the world. I think VR will be the way to play this one, and Flat to VR have found kind of a hidden gem that I didn't expect from this show, but I'm really excited about. One game that wasn't really hidden before the show though, as it did unfortunately get leaked on the PlayStation Store, is Postal 2. Postal 2 is about 20 years old now. Launched in 2003, it was crass, brutal, and pretty horrific, but has a cult following, and I think it will sell very well on PSVR 2. The trailer for it is really odd. We haven't really seen any VR gameplay of it yet, but the fact that this is in development at all is fantastic to see. I never really played Postal 1 or 2, but if Flat to VR are behind this, then I'm all for it. We did not get any update about Flat to VR's Flat Out game, which I was hoping to hear a little bit more about, but I'm sure it will come in due time. But aside from that, this was a fantastic show. From the games that we will get down the line to games that are launching synchronously on all platforms, there's some great stuff for us here for PSVR 2. Just in the next couple of weeks, of course, we have Wanderer, The Fragments of Fate, Hitman, and Underdogs, so please do look forward to that. Again, I got to reiterate, I don't know if I'm going to be able to cover Wanderer and Hitman on the channel. I'm working with the teams to try and get access to these games, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. Hopefully it will. If not, I'll try and delegate that to a friend of the channel like Electrical to cover Hitman and hopefully get some impressions out to you. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your support, and I hope to see you all in the next one.